Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inside IIM. My name is Oshin, and I'm happy to be your host yet again this Thursday, 6 p.m. Have you ever found yourselves wondering how do CAT toppers prepare for CAT? How much do they study? How do they study? What are their schedules look like? And what are things you can do to make sure that you score a high score on CAT? If you've been there, then this live is good. I got three CAT toppers with me today, and they're going to talk to you about really how they prepare and manage their time to build a schedule that allowed them to score high percentiles on the CAT. And I'm really happy to welcome Shreya, who's a 99.82 percentiler on CAT, and she'll be joining IMA. She already has joined IMA this year. We have Shree Harsha, who scored a 99.3 percentile on CAT, and he has joined IIM Calcutta this year. And we have Yash Agrawal, who scored a 99.65 percentile on CAT, and he's joined IIM Calcutta as well this year. Thanks so much, guys, for joining me today. And without further ado, let me put across the elephant in the room, the question for today, which is how do CAT toppers study? Let me just put this to you, Shreya, and let you dive into it however so you feel best.
Yeah, thank you for asking the question, Oshin. I would like to start with, clearing the air about what CAT actually is. So it's not like a JEE exam where you can just, sit and grasp learning the topics and mugging the formulas. And, in the end of the exam, you will be like, oh, shit, I just forgot this formula or I didn't remember this. For CAT, it's more like a mental preparation. In the end of the exam, when you go through the question paper, you'll always feel like, okay, I actually knew 90% of the question paper and I just did not attempt it right. So it's about getting yourself in that mental state where you're confident enough to attempt the exam. So for me, it was building that confidence around, VARC section. I was an engineer and always been, highly confident about my quantitative skills. So for most of the time, I focus my preparation around, building that confidence on VARC. So what I started doing was, I subscribed to Hindu and gave at least 1 hour of my time every morning going through the newspaper, not only the editorials but also the news sections, because those will also help you during your interviews. Not you just don't have to crack CAT, you also have to crack interviews, right? So that was a really important part for my preparation. Apart from that, I focus on spending 2-3 hours every day for sectionals. And okay, there were times that you don't have time for it, but it's okay. But the main issue here is that we don't be regular. We are not regular with our preparation. So I try to do that. Okay, so do it every day. If you are not able to put in your efforts each day, it's okay, but don't lose hope. Just do it every day. And then mocks are really important. I can't focus enough on those, and I gave as many as I could every weekend and in the beginning, and then I made it more regular during the weekends as well. And then analyzing them and going through them were really important. So it's not like it's a set strategy for every person that you have to give like 10 hours a day or 8 hours a day. It really depends on your background, on how you think you should approach it. As I told, it's more of a mental preparation than preparing for actual exam, because most of the things you already know there. Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much, Shreya, for setting the course of this conversation. I want to move to Yash next and ask you, Yash, how did you prepare for CAT? You scored a 99.65 percentile and you were a non-engineer. What was it like for you when you were preparing? How many months long was your preparation? And how did you manage your time when you were preparing? Essentially, how much did you study? That's the question.
So thank you, Oshin, for the question, and thank you, Shreya, for putting out the point that it's more about the confidence that you have in yourself. Because I personally, this was my second attempt in CAT. So while the preparation strategies and studying hours were different in both the years, the main difference was the confidence and how calm I was about giving the exam. In the first attempt, it was more like, okay, I have to give the CAT. I don't know how I'm going to perform. If I don't perform well, what will happen, and so on and so on. In the second year, it was more a calm environment. I was prepared, but I was also confident that okay, I have to perform to the best of my ability. Whatever happens, happens. Saying that regarding the preparation, it was in 2019. It was more like I used to give 5 to 6 hours a day for the preparation. While I was in college, I took off from my internship and started studying for CAT around 1.5 months and 2 months before the CAT. So I started studying with an agenda and with a list of all the topics that we had to cover. I used to attend classes for CAT, but I didn't pay much attention to it. But that really helped me with some of the concepts and some of the granular details of the questions. And I used to prepare a list of the topics, and I used to strike off all the topics that I was confident then. So that helped me to understand how much do I have to prepare more, and accordingly I used to set my schedule for the next week, because I used to review the list every week. That helped me in setting a context for the next week, and accordingly I was able to manage my schedule. Regarding the mocks, it was really helpful in the starting to first to ascertain what my weak areas are. I was able to ascertain that I was scoring good in LRDI comparatively than the other two. So I could focus a little less on LRDI while working more towards QA, which was my biggest weakness. And since I couldn't remember the formulas, I was a non-engineer, so everything was at a disadvantage for me. So I worked toward those. uh, I always had this in mind that I don't have to attempt all the questions in QA, but only on the questions that I was confident upon. So if I felt that I was not good at any subject, and even if I practiced, I wouldn't be as good in that topic. So I decided to left that topic, for example, geometry and etc., because I wasn't very confident, to be honest. So I left those topics because I was not confident, and focused on those where I felt that I could make them my strength, and I could save a little more time in those topics if I practice a little more. Regarding other two sections for VARC, just like Shree, I used to read one newspaper each day, which helped me with my speed as well for reading, and also with my comprehension of words, and also for complex sentences. All those helped me in the CAT with the speed and the comprehension. For the jumble words, I think mocks were the biggest help, because keeping the constraint of time in mind, I was able to solve them in mocks, which boosted my confidence a little. And for the last section, that is LRDIs, as I told, it was obviously I felt that it's a little strength for me, so I was able to do well in that with little time.
Got it. Thanks for that answer, Yash. Harsha, let me come to you now. Do you think that the idea that CAT toppers study 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, do you think that's accurate? How much do you think what is the kind of effort that you yourself put in when you were preparing for CAT? Because you're a CAT topper yourself. A 99.3 is an aspirational score, for a lot of aspirants. If you could just share what kind of effort and how did you go about your preparation?
Sure. Thanks, Oshin, for the question. So basically, I started in the month of August, and before starting the preparation, I delved into the past question papers to analyze how the questions are being framed and how the questions are. So that was my first thing, and then I decided to complete the preparation within the first 2.5 months, and then I planned on giving the sectionals. So I would go with the sectional wise one, initially going with the quant. Quant was always my strongest section, as I'm an engineer. So the first thing that I thought is to strengthen it so much that I should get the maximum from it. And that's what I did. I studied the basic concepts of all the topics that are present, and concentrated mostly on the topics that are really important in the CAT perspective. So once I'm done with it, I started practicing from various books. And the major thing that has helped me is practicing even the basic questions. I practiced from Savesh Kumar and Arun Sharma, and I also did the introductory exercises. Introductory exercises are very easy when it comes for a person with an engineering background, but they are something that helps us build the speed. So that is one mistake that I did in my previous preparation, and that is what I had to correct in this preparation. So that I did that. And in the month of October, I started giving the sectionals, and these sectionals had really helped me to solve the questions in the time limit, because time management is also an important aspect when it comes to the CAT examination. And uh, coming to my daily schedule, I used to spend 2 hours for the quant section specifically. So initially, I would do the concepts, and then I would go to the practicing of the questions, how from all the sources, from any source that I had. And then in the weekends, I used to write the short notes for the topics that I had studied earlier, so that it would be easy for me to revision. To be frank, short notes has helped me in the last stages of my preparation. So then coming to the LRDI section, the same, I analyzed the question papers, and I realized one thing, that there would be definitely two sets which would be really easy. I mean, easy in the sense they would be the basic ones, basic concepts. So I tried to understand them. And in the previous year when I gave the CAT, I did a huge big mistake of allotting a lot of time for a particular set, and that used to be like 40 minutes for one set, which is a which made a big disaster. So that is one thing that I avoided while practicing for LRDI. I was like, I used to take up the sets. I used to spend 15 to 18 minutes for the set, and I used to be very much cautious regarding the time that I'm spending for it. And that is one thing that has helped me to maintain the time during the exam even. And then coming to that, I covered the basics of all the sections instead of going deeper into some of them and leaving them. I covered the basics of all, and I gave the sectional tests regularly, and also I attempted the mocks for the same. And coming to VRC, that is one hell of a section I always fear, and that is because I always had this misconception that VRC is not made for the. I mean, it is just to keep the engineers coming into the MBA. So in the past attempt, I made a mistake of not practicing at all. I spent a lot of time on QA and LRDI. Not just me, I've seen many other people also. They keep a lot of effort into QA and LRDA that they never try to put in efforts for VARC. Mostly they would give the mocks or the sectionals, but they would be very much less, because that would be hardly summing up to 100 RCs, I guess. So that is one thing that I wanted to avoid. And this time of starting from August itself till the end of October, I daily attempted 2 RCs in a time span of 25 minutes. And these 2 RCs had really helped me, because it helped me to analyze where I'm going wrong. It helped me analyze what are the topics that I'm stronger in, whether it is science or the different genre of the RCs that I am strong in. So these are something that had helped me. I mean, the 2 RC thing had helped me identify, and I was very much consistent with giving these 2 RCs. It's like almost I just skipped a single day when giving these RCs, because sparing 25 minutes in order to give an RC 2 RCs is not a difficult task. And I also used to spend 30 minutes to read 2 to 3 articles per day, and that is also one factor that has helped me a lot in identifying my easy genre. And then there comes the things of time management, which I had learned through the sectionals itself that I had started in the October. So basically, to put the things, the initial 2.5 months have gone for the practice preparation, that is strengthening the concepts, and then came the sectional tests. And along with it, I also given the mock examinations regularly. No matter how bad the scores are, I was very much consistent with giving the examinations just to see how the things are turning up. And this is how I did. And coming to the end in the November, I mostly focused on going through the previous year question papers and practicing them. I generally spent in 5 to 6 hours on an average per day for the CAT preparation, and I hope that is enough for any person who is preparing. It's just you need to be very much attentive while studying, and just when you are going to prepare for something, you need to focus on that for that particular time, and you can just chill in the other time. That's what I had followed.
Awesome. That sounds great. Thanks, Harsha. And if
Thank
I were to ask Shreya and Yash, would you also agree that roughly about 5 to 6 hours of studies every day is an average that you guys followed?
Oshin, I think it's very much depends on person to person, right? For me, I was working for most of the time. My 8 to 9 hours are always, caught up there. So I was not able to actually give 5 to 6 hours every day. So what I followed was, divide my time across the day whenever I used to get time. Like as I said earlier, that in the morning before even going to work, I used to read newspapers so that I can cover my VARC section, right? So after work or in between, if I take a break or anything, and I had the energy to, I would just go and give sectionals. Okay, just 30-minute, 40-minute sectionals, as because for into 2020 the cat timing reduced, right? It was just 40 minutes per section, so it was enough. I didn't have to sit for 1 hour for sectional, so that really helped, and apart from that, I did not have actually 5 to 6 hours, so I can't say that it's important or not. But yeah, it was mostly, concentrating on what your weaknesses are and what you can improve in the time span you had. As I was really late for starting the cat prep, I just had three months, like August, from August, and I just had 3 months for preparation. So instead of really focusing on things I didn't know at all, I focused on things that I thought I could improve on. Right. So I didn't focus much on QA because I thought I can do it. And most of my preparation for quantitative part was done when I was giving my mocks. So most of my sectionals that I gave were for VARC so that I can actually improve my speed for reading and see if it's actually helping. And along LR, because you can literally get any question under the earth in LR. And if you can just practice as many questions as there are, you will be much more confident in attempting anything new you get in exam. So that was during the weekdays mostly. So in the weekends, I had my weekends free. So I used to give 2 hour mock and then chill for a while that, okay, I have given the paper now. And then go ahead and, analyze those mocks. It's really important to do that. So around 2 hours I'll give for analyzing those mocks and 2 hours for exam. So yeah, around on the weekend there were 4 to 5 hours per day. But on weekdays, I'd say 2 3 hours was what I did. Yeah.
Got it. And that sort of brings us to the question that a lot of working professionals also have, as well as students who are in college. How do we manage our commitments? A lot of them would be preparing for placements, and they'd also be preparing for CAT. That's like two important things clashing, commitments clashing. When you have one, sometimes you prioritize the other, sometimes you not. So I'm curious, how did, because Yash, you were also working when you were preparing for CAT, and I'm curious, how did you guys manage your A time, B routines? And by routines, I don't mean routines, I mean your clashing commitments. So if Yash, you could talk about both the things, your daily schedule and how you would prioritize, your work versus your preparation.
So thank you, Oshin. So in my second attempt, as you said, I was working. So there were a lot of times when there was some commitment from the work, whether it would be client call or an internal call, which I could not miss. So I had to sacrifice some of the time, some of my preparations for that, because some of the things could not be pushed further. But I believe CAT was not about keeping a particular slot for particular thing, but more like having the discipline to complete that thing if you are not confident about it. For example, if I felt that I was not confident about, or if I need to study about a particular topic from any of the section, so I made it a point to study it, whether it would be late at night or early in the morning. I just made it a point to get it done with before I went to bed or before I completed the week to set up my next schedule. Regarding the time, as I said earlier as well, in my second attempt, I could not give much time for the preparation. But what helped me was the concept that I had built in my first attempt, and I could capitalize on all those. So in the second attempt, I was able to, but still I was able to give around an average of 10 hours per week, which helped me to revise the formulas, just be updated with all the concepts, be updated with all the methods to solve. But again, those 10 hours were not like 2 hours each day. It could be more like 4 hours or 5 hours in a day, and none 0 hours for 2 days consecutively because of the work. And again, work from home has anyways blurred the line between our work life and our home life. So anyways, because of some other functions at home, some other commitments at home, it was all more difficult to manage the time. But what helped me was keeping a list of all the topics that I had to prepare.
Got it. And Yash, when you prepared for the first time, were you in college?
Yes, at that
And
time.
what was your percentile the first time?
It was 93.44.
Got it. And at that time, how many hours or what kind of effort did you put in?
Yeah, so that time I put in a lot of effort because first I was scared because it was the first time I was giving CAT, had no idea what's gonna come in the exam. So I back then I was like very new to the some of the topics that we were studying and some of the methods that we were learning to save time. So classes helped me with a lot of things to learn new methods to understand how we can solve the problems in a relatively easy way. But also my self-study consisted of a much more studying time, which was around 5 to 6 hours per day, and regularly taking mocks, analyzing them where I was lacking, where I was taking more time than I was supposed to. So all those things helped me to get in a hang of what's gonna come in the exam.
All right, great. Thanks for that answer. I'll now move to the next question. And a lot of folks have asked this question on our live chat, which is, did you guys slack in your preparation? Were there times when you did not prepare, you felt demotivated, or just didn't feel like studying, does that happen with CAT toppers? And if it does, what do you guys do to deal with it? And let me start with Harsha for this one.
So yeah, definitely I did slack a lot of times I would say, because I used to be like bring watch all the concepts at once, and I take a particular topic and I used to bring watch all the concepts. I used to practice, and then I used to like take a break for 1 or 2 days. I used to be so exhausted that I used to take a break, or sometimes it would be such that I never had the interest inside me to prepare anything at that point of time. So in those, they do happen. They do happen with each and everyone. We see ups and downs. We feel like, why am I even writing the examination? Why am I even preparing for this exam? What is the point? That happens with everyone. Trust me. But the only thing that kept me going is like we should never give up, because I just remember the one thing that why did I even start this? Why did I even start preparing for the examination? It's because I want to do an MBA, and it has always been the goal since after leaving my UG. So keeping that in mind, I even though I used to take a break for 1 or 2 days, I used to get back, and with the same enthusiasm that I had done in the past time, I used to go ahead with it, and that really kept me going. And also one more thing I would like to add is that regarding the motivation that we need, definitely motivation is something that is required to excel in this examination, and you can get it from other people. Like there would be a lot many people who would be ready to help you to give the motivation. But at one point of time, you would reach such a state that the motivation from no person would be helpful to you. So try to motivate yourself. Be the person, be the other person. Also, talk to yourself why you have started and what to do. Bring the other person in. Like there would be a person inside us who would be ready to give advices to the others if they are in trouble. So bring that other person and talk to him, and that would definitely help you. Because not just at this point of time, but after even after cracking the exam and giving the interviews, after joining an MBA, that would be helpful. So just try to do that. Yeah.
Got it. Thanks so much, Harsha. First of all, it's really relieving to hear that you guys also felt demotivated. The best part for me was Harsha cried 2 days ka break seedha after I'd done a topic. This is uplifting. But no, jokes apart, Shreya and Yash, what about you? Were you guys, would you say you were disciplined throughout, consistent, or were there phases? How did you deal with all these questions and, demotivation issues that Harsha mentioned?
Definitely, Ocean, there was a lot of demotivation. It comes especially when you're working. You just feel that it's okay, even if I don't get it, I have my job, it's not gonna affect it. And then you just slack off. But I think one thing that really helped me, get back was, my friends. Like, I had another one who was preparing with me, and we both were consistent. If I would slack off, he would be the one, motivating that, okay, no, you have to do it. You should remember why you're doing it. And if he used to slack off, I was there to, build that motivation up. And also in your slack days, it's not at all bad that you just go out and just have something to eat. Just get the stress off your mind. That's really important. And studying with the person, studying with the friend, it really gets you going. You can solve your doubts, you have any questions, that the other person is going through the same grill. So that also kind of, even though it's sadistic, but yeah, it kind of builds up that, okay, if I am feeling bad, the other person is too. And it's really helpful to find that. And just anything to get you going, actually. Just don't lose hope.
Awesome. I mean, thanks so much, Shreya, for that. And Yash, finally, what's your take on maintaining discipline throughout the prep? How do you do it?
Yeah, so maintaining discipline is obviously an important part. But regarding slacking, even I slacked off a lot while my preparation. Even to once I called up to my office, the two people in my office, and I said, okay, I'm not gonna give CAT, and I'll be continuing with the job. So they said, okay. But then again, the next day or the day after, I thought and I said, no, I have to give CAT. It's just a phase of demotivation. If I prepare, I can do well. And again, having friends and family, talking to them helps you know why you are doing it. And also, with just as Shreya said, having other people who are also preparing for CAT helps you to know that you are not the only one who is going through this. For example, if you're not able to solve a question, if you're not able to prepare well, you know that other people are also facing the same thing when you talk to them. So that helps a little because then you don't take the whole burden upon yourself and think that, okay, it's happening with everyone. And regarding discipline, yes, obviously, while you are demotivated, it's okay. Go out, sit with your friends, talk to them, talk about anything but CAT. And then when you are back, then go on with your full force and just be on track as soon as possible. But take time if you need. That is important.
Awesome. Okay, so thanks so much for answering these questions. And let me just make the point here that after speaking with you guys, I feel it's completely fine to take a break, to slack off, to not study for some time, and it feels like it's part of preparing, because you're taking break and you're de-stressing and not worrying about CAT anymore. So a lot of times we get these aspirants who are really worried about they not being motivated, and how do I motivate myself. I mean, you don't have to all the time, right? You sometimes it's okay to just be demotivated, be okay with it. Awesome. So that's done. Let's get to the live questions now. There are a lot of people. Okay, so there are a lot of people who are really happy to see you guys. I'll take it up from the start. Chronology समझ लीजिए आप लोग. I'll take up. I'll take the questions that came in first, and then we'll go sequentially. So there's Sai asking, he or she is going to write their CAT next year, that is 2022. Confused on how to go with the VRC section, and I'm a commerce student. So not like he's an engineer bad at VRC, he's a commerce student and confused about. So he's not bad, but he's confused about how to go with VRC. If any of you would like to take this up.
So thanks, Sai, for the question. I was also a commerce student, and since you have a lot of time, considering that you will be giving CAT next year, you have more than 14 months to prepare. So one thing you can do is make a habit of reading if you don't have it already. Read anything, good novels, good books, newspapers. Newspapers help a lot because it keeps you updated with the current affairs as well. So you can make a habit of reading. Plus, while you're preparing, you can keep solving questions related to reading comprehensions, relating to other questions like jumble words and all. that would help you get in the flow of how to solve the questions. You have a lot of time. I don't think you should be confused from right now. You will be able to figure it out as the time comes.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Yash. Next is again same person asking, I don't have any professional degree too, so how can I work on strengthening myself? Harsha would know an answer to this. Harsha, would you like to?
Yeah. So coming to this question, even I was puzzled with the same one because I did not have much of a solid experience or good profile. Even I thought so till the time I entered IIM Calcutta. So that was always my apprehension. So you can do various certification courses from uh, Coursera or Udemy. So these will help you with building the basic knowledge. You can do the Excel courses or some other course, or let me say, if you're interested in marketing, you can do a digital marketing course. These are general. These are basically to build your knowledge in those particular fields. That's it. So regarding how they will come in handy in the future. Leaving that, they will be helpful for you during the interviews or in order to at least get an understanding regarding this. And be active on LinkedIn or try to that is like a knowledge platform that gives a lot of knowledge to you regarding the management stuff. And also you can there are many YouTube channels that help us with providing a lot of knowledge. So just try these things. That should be more than enough. So, see, you need not be worried regarding the profile. It's just that take active participation. If you're right now in college, then take active participation in the college in what are the events that are happening or any other thing. Try to maintain a good academic profile. That would be more than enough.
Okay, thanks, Harsha. And to everybody in the audience, if you're happy with how the live is going, please drop in a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to know when next we're going to do another live. Okay, promotion's done. I'll go to the next question now, which is somebody asking, that's what I say when I can't pronounce the name right. Since when do we have to start regular sectionals, guys?
Okay, I will go ahead with this question again. So um, sectionals are really important. That is one thing I would tell to any person that had approached me, because sectionals will help you not just with learning the concepts, but also the time management, question selection or a set selection. All these things can be learned from the sectionals itself. So if possible, start giving sectionals from the early September or early October is really good for you if you're starting from August or July. If not, at least try to give the sectionals in the last 20 days. I mean, the last 20 days before the 1 week before the camp. That is in the early November, starting at that point of time, because sectionals are something that really help you in shaping your time management. So the more number of sectionals that you give, the more your percentile gets improved.
If Shreya, Yash would like to talk about when, any thoughts on when is a good time to start taking sectionals regularly?
See, what happens is sectionals you can give for a topic, you can give for a whole VARC section or LRDI section. But I'd say you should start as early as you can, if you can. Like if you are even preparing for a particular topic in quant, like Yash was saying that he's weak at geometry, like you can't just read up geometry and it will be fine. You have to also practice questions. And I don't think it's better to give sectionals, because you will be able to, you know, tune your mind to solve as many questions in those 40 minutes. You can always solve if you have an hour or two, but sectionals will help you train your mind to actually solve the whole section under 20 minutes, under 40 minutes. I mean, and you will know that, okay, if there are 30 questions or 24 questions, to be honest, then I can't actually attempt 24 or 24, all of them. And I have to skip those some questions. I have to focus on the easier questions and not focus on the questions I'm not able to solve in the first attempt. So that helps you prepare for time management during the exam. So you give sectionals and you move on to mocks. So I think you should just start giving sectionals when you start preparing for exam.
Okay, noted. Yash, any other thoughts here?
Just one thing, if you are just starting to prepare for CAT and you are giving sectionals, don't get demotivated by the scores that you are seeing on the screen, because two things. First, it's not the real exam. Real exam brings a different pressure to all the students that are giving. And second, it's just that you are starting the preparation. So obviously you are going to grow a lot. You are going to get better much more. So just don't get demotivated by looking at the sectionals if you're scoring a little less than what you're expecting.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Yash.
Oshin, just a second. I would like to add one more point to Yash's answer. So yeah, definitely, that's not a real exam that you have been giving, but I mean, while watching the score, just be with that thought. But while giving the sectional test, be with the thought that you are giving a real examination, because you need to behave as if you are under pressure, or something of that sort, because that is when you will be able to adapt to it. But yeah, coming to the scores, don't treat it as a real mark. It's just a real exam. It's just a normal exam.
Beautifully put. Thanks, guys. Crystal clear. When you take the mock, you treat it like the real exam, but when you take the score, you don't treat it like the real score. Simple. Got it. Okay. Next, we have Dave asking, what's best to improve RC score and accuracy other than reading continuously and reading articles? Is there anything else apart from reading that will help improve RC score and accuracy?
Okay, I can take this. I also have felt the same thing. Yeah, reading won't actually be, it won't be a direct addition to improving your language. It won't be, that, okay, I'm reading, I have read 2 articles, so today my RC should be really good. It's not gonna happen. But what reading helps is it will help improve your reading speed. Okay, so as you have like 4 to 5 RCs and a very less time to do it because you have the other VARC section as well. So if you can read fast and just grasp the topic, what's been talked about, it will be more than enough to help you solve your RC. You don't need to know the meaning of each and every word. What you need to know is what the author is trying to convey. Okay. And one other thing that helps is, apart from reading newspapers, is try to read as diverse topics as you can. Because being an engineer, I was more comfortable with, all the technological topics or anything of that sort. If it comes, I would be like, okay, this is something I'm just gonna solve. I'll just read, I'll understand, and I'll attempt the RC. But when it comes to something of a topic like psychological topic or a topic on literature, I would be always, my hand would cross and my mind would go, okay, what is written here? I am not able to understand. So try to read, topic. Just don't read newspapers and articles. Just read the topics, which you think you're not comfortable with. Try reading from different websites. Try picking up topics which you're not, regular readers. So there was a website called aeon.com. If you will go there, you will find articles on various topics. So just pick up and read. I know those articles are really long. You don't have to finish them. You just have to get comfortable reading something that you're not comfortable with. Okay, so that will help your RC. Don't worry about it. Reading is the only thing you can do.
Got it. Thanks. Thanks, Shreya. I'll go to the next question, which is okay. I am taking mock tests. So this is the person asking. I am taking mock tests and my scores are 88 to 89 percentile, and only twice did I get to a 96. And at times my mock score drops down to even 70. It's like, it feels like no subject, no section is strong for me. Help.
Okay, I will take up this question because I had seen similar incidents. So coming to your mock, as I said, don't go by first and most important thing, don't go by the percentiles that you get in the mocks, because they are not the real percentiles. Based on my experience, I'm saying I scored something around 90 in the mocks, and not 90, let me say 100 in the mocks, and I secured a 96 percentile. And the same 100 fetched me 99.3 percentile in the real examination. So there will be a huge difference. Let me say if you're going with not such percentiles, or let me say if you're going with the score of 70, 70 would fetch you something around 70 percentile in the mock, but the same 70 would fetch you 90 plus in the real examination. So don't be disheartened regarding what you are scoring in the mock. It's just that how you're able to analyze it and how you're able to improve your score. There might be cases, even when I was giving the final marks, I scored something around 70 and I guess in the last mock or the last, but first, last before mock. So I scored 70. That is because solely because the paper was much difficult, and at that point of time you need to see the percentage, because it's just as or it is for everybody is the paper difficult that you need to see. So the one thing that I can advise you is that try to improve your marks by smaller numbers. I mean, not like improving it drastically with 20 marks or 30 marks. Go for smaller targets, 5 marks or 6 marks per every examination, and 2 marks or 3 marks in every section. That would gradually add up and improve your score. And trust me, everybody was started in the beginning. They would, most of the students, not everybody, but most of the students would be scoring very much less. When I started giving the marks, I scored 40, and that went on till 110 by the time I gave the last mark. So there will be definitely an improvement. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Harsha. I'll go to next.
So if I add, just one thing, that if you are giving mocks, you're just like, actually there will be around 2 lakh applicants, and the mock giving people will be just those 10-20,000 people who are really, really serious about it. So don't get disheartened if you get less marks, because it's among, the cream of the people who are really serious about CAT. So that's also a reason. It's a percentile. Focus on the marks you're getting rather than the percentile right now.
Got it, definitely. And I don't know which of you said, but I thought it was also valuable to I forgot the word.
Reiterate.
So that, when you're taking a mock and you don't score well, and let's say you're consistently getting an 88 or an 89, the key is, I don't know, some topper said it earlier in one of the lives, the key is to continue to take the mock regardless of that 88 and not consider it something to stress over. But also she emphasized that if you're getting an 88 again and again, you need to really figure out what is it that's stopping you from reaching a 98. Where are you? So the analysis bit, like you guys said. But okay, yeah, that's about this question. Next is about materials you guys refer to. Did all of you take up a coaching? Also, Shreya, was this your first attempt, 2020? Right. So you did not take up a coaching, you prepared by yourself.
Yeah.
And what material did you use?
Okay. I just refer to Times mock tests, and those their series also offers you a series of sectional tests as well. So you will get in a bundle few mock tests and few sectional tests. So that's what I mostly focus on. I did not have time to go into the details of each and every subject and each and every topic of it. So I focus on the overall study, that I focus on just giving sectionals and mocks, and that was it. That was the only resource I used. Maybe Yash and Harsha can add more resources to it.
Yeah. So Yash, 2 questions for you. What resources, coaching material and otherwise material did you use in your first prep, which was 2019, and what did you use in your second prep, 2020?
So in the first attempt, I used Arun Sharma for QA because it was like a nightmare for me, this section. And for the other sections, I used time material. The material they had given was felt relatively easy to me. So I also kept taking a regular sectional test back then and mocks, which helped me ascertain what are the levels of questions I was getting. And I used to analyze those and get back to the questions I was getting. And in the last attempt in 2020 that I gave, I referred to mostly the mocks and the sectionals. There was nothing other than sectional and mocks that I gave.
Got it. And so what coaching did you say you joined the first time when you were preparing?
Time.
Got it. Okay, clear. And Harsha, what about you for both times?
So the first time I did not take up any coaching. I just prepared from Arun Sharma for quant, and for the other 2, I just gave the time sectionals and time mocks, and also IMS mocks, only the mocks of IMS. The second time I just took the coaching for quant and LRDI, and for quant I took up an academy, Ravi Prakash. There was a tutor called Prakash. I took up his coaching, and for LRDI also, he is the same person. Um, Now coming to the others, like practice from various, so I practiced from the sectional. Sectionals was the major practice area for me, and also mocks given that, but there are low number of mocks. So I used to attempt one mock at least every week. And there are various YouTube channels for LRDI specifically, like Alex Grade, iQuanta, which provide these LRDI sets, and their concepts are also equally good with compared to all the other coaching issues. So I used to follow them. The only thing is that last compared to last year and this year in quant, I prepared, I mean, I did even the basic of the basic questions to improve the speed. So almost the what do I say, the resources are same, but it's like I put up more emphasis on the practice rather than just reading up the concepts.
Got it. And guys, would you say that there's a bare minimum number of questions that one should practice every day, or you guys practiced every day? Anything like that? Any metric you follow? No. Next, yeah. Sorry.
1 second, yeah. So there isn't any bare metric, but one thing I would like to mention is that every section, each and every section contains basic questions. Let me say, for suppose that we take quant. In quant, there are almost 10 questions in that section. That would be really easy. I mean, the basics, that would be from the basics of that particular section. So it's just that we need to be able to at least solve those questions by identifying them. And in order to do that, you need to at least practice the basics from those topics. So I would not say like practice 100 questions, 150 questions, but at least try to solve the basics from the particular resources that you have, so that you can at least those questions and you can score the bare minimum. Because there are like, you can excel in one section, and the other sections, if you can try to cross the breach mark like 95 percentile or 90 percentile, even then you can get a 99 percentile. So you can like strengthen yourself in the weaker sections, and you can get the best in the stronger section that you have. So that is how I did.
Got it. Thanks so much, Harsha. Next, I'll ask Shreya. So Shreya, someone is asking, Anshuman is asking, should I focus more on giving tests, or should I just solve materials untimed, basically? What do you recommend?
Okay, so it really depends on how strong your concepts are. So if you think that you are weak in the particular concepts, I would recommend that you first go ahead and solve those material and build those concepts up. But in the end, you have to practice giving tests, because as I told in the very beginning, that it's about the mentality you build. So even if you practice the materials, all the formulas and everything, you have to know what questions are easier, which questions are difficult, and what questions can be solved in a given time. So that needs to be built. So first of all, primarily you have to build your concept. So if you are weak on quant, build on a algebra number system. These are the questions that you get the most. So build your concepts on these, which you will get the most in the CAT exam. So that consists of a bigger chunk of the questions. As now also you don't have much time, so start giving mock tests. I'd recommend. It won't matter if you're getting less marks. It won't matter you're getting a less percentile, but it will help you prepare for the day when you actually have to give CAT. So build your concepts, build your mock tests. Both of them are really important.
Got it. Thank you so much, Shreya. I'll go to the next question, which is someone asking that their RC scores, VARC scores, are fluctuating a lot on the MCAT mocks. So they're figuring how they can make them consistent. So they're trying to figure it out by asking suggestions from you guys, if you have it.
Okay, I'll take that up. So just one word for that question, that is analyze. You have to go back to your mocks and see where did you go wrong. In the mocks that you scored well, you have to go and see which areas did you do well. And in the mocks that you didn't do well, you have to go back and see whether it was a time constraint that you felt, or whether it was some RC that you didn't understand, or were not able to perform well. So you have to go back and analyze. And again, as Shreya mentioned earlier, that reading is a must. You have to continue reading. even if you are scoring good in mocks, then also you need to continue reading so as to keep abreast of your speed and all the information, new information, because sometimes articles can come on a current affair topic as well. But again, analyze and keep continue giving.
Thanks, Yash. There's someone asking, they've shared their 10th, 12th graduation scores, and they're wondering if you guys can help them figure out what's the kind of percentile that they would require if they want to get into a top IIM. Do you think you can help? Shall I read out their marks or no?
I think there are various tools. I think Inside IIM has a great tool, profile evaluation tool. They can use that. They will be if they fill in their information, they can get a good idea of what their profile is and how well do they have to do, so as to get good calls.
Okay, got it. Noted. Next is Anshuman again asking how to manage campus placements and CAT. So we've covered that up in the time management bit that was at the start of the conversation. Around 10 to 15-minute mark, you will find the answer, right? Next is, should I time all my practice sessions or some of them, none of them? What do you guys recommend?
Okay, I'd say if you are just preparing for concepts, like I said earlier, you don't need to time them. But if you're preparing, okay, that I'm giving a sectional test, do time them if you're doing that. Timing is really, really crucial.
Got it. So if you're learning, basically building concepts, then
Yeah.
you don't need. Got it. Siddharth is asking, hi Shreya, where were you working? When you
Okay.
Yeah,
I was working with Microsoft for a year.
Got it. Melinda is saying, hi Harsha. And then there's someone saying how to complete the quant syllabus. So I'll just read this question out clearly. One is the basics of all topics at first. Two is completing one whole topic at a time, considering I'm not good at quant. So how should I go about it? Shall I just do the basics of all topics at first? Or should I complete whole topic, basics and medium or advanced, whatever levels, and then go to the next topic? What approach do you guys recommend?
So particularly coming to quant, I would say that take up the topics that are really important. If you would see the algebra and arithmetic constitute of almost 85% of all the questions that come in the quant in all the slots that have been in the past 5 years. So it means that definitely these are two important topics, and if you can excel at them, then it means that you would get a 99.5 percentile or more than 99. Sorry. So that is what would happen. So try to build the basics and advance in both these topics so that you can get the most. But don't neglect the other topics. Learn the basics. I mean, practice because from my personal experience, I never studied the topic of AMA. And both in 2019 and 2020, there were questions from AMA that were really simple, but I could not attempt because I had no idea as to how to attempt them. So at least learn the basics from them, because it should not be like, there is a easy question from it and I was not able to attempt it. So that should not be the thing. So learn the basics from the other topics, and from the topics that are really important, complete the basics and advanced. So that is how I would ask you to go.
Okay, thanks, Harsh. Someone saying, so Akshay saying, killing it, Harsh. Good to see you here. Harsha has a lot of fan following now. There's Dave asking, what's best to improve RC score and accuracy other than, so we've already taken this up, other than reading. Who to crack GDPI? No, you don't have someone to crack GDPI, friend. Sorry. So for GDPI, you have other videos. This webinar is not for GDPI. Best way to prepare for VA, RC, what material did you follow? So they've shared the material largely. What's the best way to prepare? Also, Yash had taken it up. So you can scroll back, you'll find the answer around half an hour mark. Like after half webinar was done. Harsha is really amazing, truly humble. He always helps me whenever I need. Okay, Yuvraj has XYZ GAD's percentile required for top IIMs. Please check out the profile builder tool. So you'll get an estimate of the likelihood of how likely are you to convert certain B schools. But if you're looking for a specific percentile, that may be hard to calculate. You might want to do a little more research around that bit. They're asking, does GDPI also require same effort for preparation? Guys, does GDPI also require same effort as CAT preparation does? Yes, no, maybe.
CAT doesn't, IIMs don't have any GDPI around actually.
Right.
Yeah, but if you want to prepare for interviews, that is a very different level of preparation. You don't need to prepare for interviews. It's mostly what you already are. All you have to do is probably, brush yourself up on the current affairs and all those things. If you are working probably on your academics, as you have lost touch with your undergrad, but it's mostly around what you already are. It's not something you can actually, prepare, and all the questions they can ask you questions, anything under the sun actually. None of my interviews were safe, not even a single one. I could have predicted that it will go one way.
Right. Got it. Okay. There's someone asking, can we know about their profiles and interview experience? So interview experience, yeah, we call them for future lives if you guys want. When you might want to subscribe for that because I'm not sure when, but if you subscribe, you'll get a notification whenever that happens. Okay, Jasmine. So their profiles they talked about it initially. If you just go back, and also they're mentioned in the description. Parveen asking, can I crack CAT if I start preparing now? Today. Shreya's smile is a big yes. Harsha, what do you think?
That would be highly uncertain. I mean, there will be a lot of factors to consider before speaking something, because yeah, if you can spare a good amount of time on the preparation, and I don't know what are your strong sections and weak sections, so you need to put in a lot of effort from this time, and you need to be consistent with your efforts, and yeah, there are chances to get a decent percentile.
Got it. Advait is giving a cheers to Inside IIM. Thanks, buddy. There is Manu asking, managing nerves on exam day. What did you guys tell yourselves? Have messed up a CAT attempt with a brain freeze.
What I told myself is that if anything happened, it's not the end. You can always give it again. That's a really good thing. And most of the time I was just thinking that, okay, if it doesn't happen, what's the worst thing that could actually happen? I'll have to go back to my job, right? So it's not that bad. I've done it a year and I'll do it again. Just don't let that brain freeze happen. Seriously, that's the key part. Don't stress out. Just give it. But it's just a way to an end. It's not the end. And obviously, you can attempt other exams like ZAT and NMAT, and all those colleges are really good as well. So even if CAT goes bad, you have other attempts to do. Give ZAT, you can get an XLRI good admit, and all those colleges are really great.
Yes, what would you say? What did you tell yourself on your second attempt?
So on my second attempt, it was mostly the same as Shreya said, but I was more on the job side because I had already told people in my office that I would not be giving CAT. So I was almost sure that I would not be taking up MBA this year, and I would be continuing with my job. So I think that really made the difference, that I was really chilled at the time of giving the exam. I could focus on the questions directly instead of thinking, okay, what if I screw up the next section? What if I screw up the next question? So that helped me clear up the question that I had in front of my eyes. So I think it's really important that you chill a little a day before. You can maybe take a break from studying and get a good night's sleep. So that would help really.
Harsha, finally, what about you?
Yeah, so it's like I did not have the job option, so I had to take it seriously. And then coming to the day of the examination, even I was very much terrified in the LRDI section, because in the first 5 minutes I was able to crack one set, but after that, totally there were no sets that I was able to crack for the next 25 minutes. But one thing that I did in the mocks is to how to maintain my calmness during the examination, and I just left the exam literally for 1 minute. I just took a deep breath and I closed my eyes, and it was like I was in my personal room. I just stopped the exam, and then as I said, I spoke to myself that okay, there is time. You definitely have the time for the next 15 minutes. you can do at least a single set, and that would be more than enough for you to clear the minimum percentile. So I spoke to myself, I motivated myself, and then I was back into the exam. I took up a different set and I started going ahead with it, and I was able to crack it. I was even able to do some of the questions of the previous set also. So that is what I would suggest you. Just stop the exam because if you are having like 10 minutes or 20 minutes and then just stop the exam. Stopping the exam for 1 minute does no harm to you at all. It's just cools down your mind and you will get back onto the track. And at that point of time, just forget what has happened till then and go ahead with a fresh mind. That's it.
Thanks so much, Harsha. And it's 7. It's time to say bye-bye now. But before we do that, if you have anything to share as final, key points, a sort of a summary of your experience or your take on how much to study, how much time to manage. If I were to ask you to summarize this in one sentence, okay, one sentence, yeah. What would that be? 10 seconds to think, and then you can say it out loud.
I just say be consistent. That's my 2 words, not a sentence.
That's as crisp as it gets. 2 words. Can any of you beat it?
Yeah. So don't worry regarding any section. One thing that I would like to say is talent will definitely take you so far, but hard work can take you anywhere. So work hard. That is the key to your success.
And I would just like to say that it's not the number of hours that you study that makes the difference, but also the kind of study that you do, the kind of analysis that you do based on what you have studied in the past week, in the past month, and accordingly take the next step.
Beautifully put, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a privilege to have you. To the viewers, I hope this was valuable. Please let me know what you think. It's important to hear your feedback. And I'll see you guys next Thursday, 6 p.m. Thanks again, Harsha, Shreya, and Yash. And before we say bye-bye, everybody of you said that you took mocks and you took sectionals and you thought it was important. So at Inside IIM, we've created a tool where we offer everybody mini mock tests that you can take on an everyday basis. They won't take much of your time, but they'll give you the kind of practice that'll be helpful. So I just want to put it out there. If you're a serious aspirant, you might want to take a look at it and not just take a look, do them, practice regularly. That will be helpful. So that's all for today. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Oshin. Bye-bye.
Bye.